Ryan, good week in trading?
Yeah, very good week, yeah. The lads are... listen, I pulled them all after training on Tuesday and said that the attitude and application out of them is different class. Dragging each other through, pulling the mate through. The lads who are a little bit lagging behind in terms of not as fit as others, that they're making sure that they're pulling each other through. And that for me is important, because you know, when you're doing runs, hill runs, park runs, whatever they are you're doing, you've got to have that togetherness and pulling people through. Not only in the runs, in training, everything about it, the seniors helping the youngsters talking to seniors. It's a breath of fresh air at the moment, and I'm really pleased. And I said, you continue to do that. Yeah, pre-season is hard. The lads know that, they're aware of that, but you get the rewards for it. And every single one of them, to a man, are putting their heart right into getting fit and making sure that we've got a good competitive edge with each other in training.
Any news of any more signs, any imminent?
There's none at the moment imminent, but we're on with it. We're constantly taking phone calls. We've got our players we want, our targets. We've just got to do a little bit of work with them, and hopefully we can get one in the next, I don't know, might take a week, might take 2 days, it all depends. But our targets are there, the set in stone of what we want. As I say, we've been working on it for a while. We've just got to get them signed up now.
You hinted a couple of weeks ago about a possible tour. More details have now come out. So Scotland.
Yeah.
Why Scotland? What's the thinking behind that? What's the benefits? No,
listen, we've just got to be careful. We're going up to play. We did have 2 games penciled in. We've certainly got 1. And we've been given the opportunity to train at a fantastic training base. So, you know, I felt it was just to get the lads away, and obviously, yeah, with the current situation that's going on in the round a little bit now, it's probably not bad time, and we're still fine, we're still going ahead with it, we're all tested, we're in our bubble, everything's fine. I think what's gone on up there was to do with 1 team or 2 teams is none of our business, as long as we stick to the protocols and do our thing right, and we stay in our hotel and we train at the facilities what are all EFL and FA and SFA protocols done, then we're fine. But we just felt we wanted to get away somewhere for a bit of different scenery, really, basically, and you know, to play a couple of matches. Obviously, we don't want to play. Well, we would want to play them all our own park, but again, we need to, you know, test ourselves against some other opposition, and we're going to go up there for 5 to 6 days or whatever it may be, and then we'll do some team bonding while we're up there as well, and the lads can have a round of golf, and we can do a bit of kayaking and the Loch Lomond sightseeing and whatnot. So yeah, we're doing it for a few purposes, not just football, and I think it'd be good for us.
I was going to ask you about team bonding. How important is that at the start of every season?
It's very good. Listen, we went Spain last year, and you know, as I said, but I'm seeing the team bonding already all on the training pitch and then with the runs, and you know, there was a scenario where I just called all the lads in, and he actually told me to wait because one of the lads was still doing a run. I didn't know, I thought he was just finishing off, and when he got up and he clapped them in, and that to me was everything. What I'm about, my staff are about, and what my players are about. But in terms of the bonding, we went away last year to just outside Alicante, and you know, we had a team bonding session there, which was very good, and you know, we'll continue to do that because we think it's vital.
Great. Thank you, Ryan.
Fitness-wise, how's the squad looking at the moment?
Very good, yeah. As I say, you know, we've had 1 or 2. Listen, I don't want to name names, but we've had 1 or 2. You know, you look at the youngsters who are coming through, and you know, some of them are flying, some of them are just catching up a little bit because it's a different intensity. But fair play to Dave and John. We know how we structure it. We know what type of runs they need. You know, there'll be a few tired legs today. They had a down day yesterday, so we'll minimise the risk of injury today. And we do everything that, you know, if the lads are feeling a little bit of stiff or any aches and pains, and you feel you might pull something, then you just come and speak to us. And we've got probably the best physio in the league for me. He makes sure that the lads are right and ready. We've got Abner now, sports therapist, young Elliot. You know, these make sure our players are right as rain. So injuries, touch wood, we're actually fine.
Ryan Hardy, how's he getting on? You haven't heard. Still hanging on?
I tell you now, is that him text me? No, not him yet, hasn't come yet. No, his missus Chloe, she's ready to go any time. But the good thing for us, as I said last time, Ryan Hardy's still training at Blackpool, he's keeping up his fitness. and hopefully he'll join us up in Scotland next week.
Okay. Squad salary caps were announced just after we met last week. Does that affect you in any way?
Yeah, probably will. But then, is it going to affect us in terms of, we've got a philosophy that, we've got a budget what we'll stick to. It's a bit complicated, to be honest with you, because, you look at some clubs, like I know one club who's probably just short of £4 million but can still bring 3 players in. So does that work? We're obviously new to the league this season because, when the salary cap is 2.5 million, we will make sure we stick to the 2.5 million. But if you add players on more than a certain amount of money, that goes down to a certain amount of money, so there will be some leeway with it. I think it'll affect a lot of teams because, as I've just mentioned, one team who I know of, well, there's plenty of teams, there's a lot of teams that are 3.6, 3.9, 4 million, 3.2, over £3 million already, but still getting the opportunity to bring players in. So I don't know, but look, we're not complaining about it. We'll deal with it. We've got a good squad already. We'll continue to add to that squad. We're doing our work very shrewdly, as I said before, and we've got to stick to the rules, because people who don't stick to the rules, who break the rules, then that's what you see financial meltdown with some clubs who's already happened, and we're not going to do that. And my chairman and board directors wouldn't allow that to happen at the football club, so we've got to stick to the rules. Will it affect us? Potentially, it remains to be seen. Will it affect that we can't compete with big clubs in terms of big clubs who've got big salaries? Yeah, but I've got every confidence in myself and my coaching staff that we can coach these players to be the best they can be. The salary cap last season, we had a salary cap of, I won't tell you what it was, but that was our own salary cap. But there was teams that were way beyond us, way beyond us. Our salary cap last season, my wage budget, was probably 10th in League 2. And we finished 3rd. I probably should have finished 1st, but so we're not going to complain about it. We know it's there. It will affect other teams and possibly will affect us along the way. Who knows? But what we feel is we're quite confident that we can coach the lads to the best of our ability to make sure that hopefully doesn't affect us.
Okay. Final question. Lewis Page, how's he?
Yeah, he's doing great. Yeah, he's doing great. As I said last week, he's going to stay with us. He's been with us, staying with us this week, and then he'll come to Glasgow with us, and then we'll make a decision on him from there. But he's been fantastic.
Thank you very much.
Right, and in terms of the salary cap, it hasn't always been successful in other sports like rugby. From a personal point of view, is it something you favour?
Not really, no. To be honest with you, for me, it's my first season with the salary cap, and I've only been manager for 2 seasons, and I think for the 2 seasons I've had, we've stuck to a playing budget, what we've been given, and we've done that last year. We'll do that again, but I think I don't think we really wanted it, the football club, because in our chairman Simon Allett, he wants to back us as much as he possibly can, and if we've got 18,000 fans at Owen Park and we generate £500,000 and there's £200,000 in the pot, knowing the board of directors and Simon, they'd like us to spend it some way if we needed it. But so that might affect us in that way. I think we've still got a little bit of leeway in the salary cap because, as I said, certain wages tally up to only a certain amount of wages if they were already in the football club and they were over a certain amount of wages. So I think we're still okay. But again, whether that's there to spend, we don't know. We're just going to stick to the budget what we've been given, and hopefully work our socks off to make sure that it's competitive.
Do you think the EFL could do more to sort of avert the kind of situation that happened at Bury? Do you think this is sort of like a token gesture and not really looking at the main issue, which is obviously owners that take over football clubs that then can't sustain it?
Yeah, I think, I don't know, that's a question for them. I think for me, I don't want to get bogged down with all the EFL stuff and everything else that comes with it, because it's hard enough as it is. But the one thing I would say on it as well is there's some players that are not going to be able to earn the type of money that they probably think they're earning or they should earn. So, I was fortunate to have a 19, 20 year playing career and done okay out the game, but there's players who now may not be able to go to, I don't know, who can we use it? Name a club who can probably go and earn 5, 6, 7, 8 grand a week because of the salary cap, when that's probably what they're worth. and may have to take 2-3 grand a week, which is still good money in any football levels. So a little bit, I know the PFA are fighting against it to try and knock it on the head, because the football career is a very short span. You know, you could be 3 years, you could be 20 years, you could be 6 years, you could be 10. So I feel for the players in that point of view as well, because, you know, at the end of the day, if you're good enough, you should earn the most money you can earn, as well as, you know, playing your football. So I think it will affect football somewhere, but then on the flip side of it, if you've got to do that because some clubs and some owners are not running the football clubs right, yeah, I agree. But if you've got money to spend and you're financially equipped like this football club is, I think you should be able to spend it.
So you think it will make dealing with agents easier? I know you always say about agents how they're always hounding you. That's no different to any manager. The fact that they know there's some strict parameters that clubs have got to work into, do you think that will make negotiations easier?
I think for us, that the agents we've worked with have been different class. Straight away we just tell them how it is and what it is, because there's no point them getting down here and then they think they're getting 7.5% and only getting 2%, or they're getting 5% and they think they're getting 5% and only getting 3.5%. We just say, look, right, we've got to go off this structure. Are you happy with it? A lot of them have said, and the ones we've signed already have said, you know what, the player comes first, and if there's a bit of food left for us in terms of money, then great. If not, then, you know, sometimes do I feel it'll be tough for agents who've got players in League 1 and League 2, 100%, yeah. It's going to get harder. But I think you've got to have connections with football clubs that, you know, you've got to be honest with them, and I think they'll be honest back with you. And whether it's money now or money in January or money next year, and depending on how long the contract is, then I think you've got to come to an agreement, otherwise you'll end up with nothing. But as I said, the ones we've worked with have been different class so far.
In terms of your pre-season schedule, obviously you have the Parkway game, you've now got, you're going to Scotland, but you're not playing down here again until Middlesbrough on the 25th of August, I think I've got that right.
Yeah.
Concerned at all about the fact there's a lack of, not many games, obviously in a normal pre-season, you'd be playing sort of Tuesday, Saturday.
Not really, no, because we've still got 5 games penciled in there, so that'll do us. And then we've just obviously, we're thinking, we don't know if we're 100% sure yet, but from the 5th of September there's going to be a potential Carabao Cup. On the 7th of September there's going to be a Leeson.com, and then the 12th of September there's going to be the start of the season. So we're not too concerned. That'll be then 7 games or maybe 8 games if we can squeeze another one in. That's not confirmed as yet, but that's what it's looking more like. So if that's the case, then we've got to make sure that we're ready for that. Yeah, we'd like to have played more games, but in the long run we're going to play probably more than we should. So we've got to make sure that week, if that happens and that comes out, that's what it's going to be, then we've just got to make sure we're ready for it. So in terms of lack of games, no, we're on there tomorrow playing 11v11. You know, because we can put that work in, stop, start, whatever we need, and I think it'll be more than enough for us.
Thanks, Ryan. Cheers.
Panucci, is he fitted in well and stuff?
Yeah, he's fitted in very well. He's got his own what do you call it, translator in Abner, and he's Portuguese, so him and him are like side by side. But no, he's a great kid. He's fitted in nicely. He's fit. He's a diamond of a kid, yeah. But listen, we know what we're getting from him. We know what he's going to be. We've got to coach him a little bit into our style. And as he said, he plays with his heart and he runs, and he does. So no, we're pleased to have him on board, and he's going to be a special talent for us.
And that's what I was going to say. Will you get a chance to see him in 11-11 tomorrow then?
Yeah, of course, yeah. He'll, all the lads will. They'll all play. We'll probably play 30 minutes, and then we'll put a few. Bit of tactics in there, what we need and what we want from them. And listen, we've got to coach some of the new players, especially Panucci. He'll be coached, Frank will be coached, you know, because we feel we need to coach these players. Lewis is getting coached, obviously, even though he's on trial, but we want to know that he fit our style of play. Well, they do, because we've signed him to do that. But the more minutes and the more tactical work you can get into the lads, the better they'll be.
Is that more 1-to-1 then? That's you and
No,
Stewie,
not really. No, it's more of a team. You know, we show them, we'll tell them what we want from them, how we want. Right. You know, I think with Frank, obviously when he's playing for Colchester, he comes from the left or the right, so we want him to stay down the middle, because we don't play that way. And you know, sometimes he'll drift out, and we've got to coach him to stay in between the 18-yard box, in between the sticks where the goals are. And we'll do that. We've seen bits of that in training. We'll coach, and then obviously in the games. Panucci's a bit different. We'll have to, you know, coach him into that one of them 8 positions, even the older midfield, probably the 8, because he runs off, and you know, got to be careful that he just doesn't leave gaps, and you know, so it'll all be Coach Lewis's. You know, on Saturday we tell him to stay high and wide, and he's a little bit worried about the left side, the centre half being. I said no, leave him, he's okay, and you know, so the more they get to know the style of play, the better they'll be. Got no question that all of them will fit in superbly. But as I say, it's just working on a day-to-day basis with them.
And you couldn't hide your joy. I know it's terrible there was no fans in here, but you did enjoy seeing the lads back in competitive action, didn't you?
Yeah, look, listen, of course, it's always nice. I think it was more for the boys, really, because they were chomping at the bit. You know, they'd done nearly 2 weeks' worth of training, and you know, normally we do a week and then have a game. So for 2 weeks, they were chomping at the bit to get playing. Listen, it's always nice, and listen, as I said before, Parkway is a great game to play for us and for them. We've got mutual respect for both the players and the staff and the football club, and it was competitive, yeah, because that's what you want to see. I did say to 1 or 2 of our lads, if there's anyone coming right through the back, just jump out the way. I didn't want anyone getting there, but no, it was fair, it was competitive, and the lads enjoyed it.
Final question. I know it doesn't pertain to League One now, but I don't know if you caught up on the figures, but you had the best away support again in League Two on average last season. I mean, how important are those fans to you?
Yeah, and we'll have the best this season. Listen, I know you've got your probably your Portsmouths, your Sunderlands, Ipswich's maybe, and there's probably 2 or 3 more who are not mentioned, but they're just the ones on the top of my head. And us, and rightly so, they come and support the team, the football club, home and away. That the one that springs out to me, I think I had a load of Scousers at the Salford game on the Tuesday night, and they couldn't believe how many were there. I think they had more than Liverpool at one point in an away game, but I think there was just under 1,200 there, and that's what we're about, because you know, fair play to them as well, because they're travelling in numbers. But I think, you know, a lot of credit has to go to the boys as well, because they're travelling to see the boys, the way they perform and the way they play. And as I say, if we weren't playing good football, or we were getting beat week in, week out, would them numbers tally down a bit? Possibly, because they want to go and see a brand of football, and they're seeing that. And the quicker we can get them back in the stadiums, the better for everyone associated.
Brilliant. Thank you for your time. Ryan.
Cheers.